Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well today. Okay, so I've been thinking, I post a lot on my Instagram feed to, things that will help the woman who has had an affair, like her personally, like her pain and what she's going through. Today I thought I would post or make a video about marriage and rebuilding marriage after infidelity because it's definitely possible. I My husband and I, we rebuilt ours. God restored our relationship and he actually made it better. So we get along better now. We know each other more, and I think that that's the key, that we really learned more about each other and how to connect and how, to make the marriage work. But today I wanted to talk about I wanted to ask you the question, do you feel like you have an unfulfilling marriage? Because a lot of times, even before the affair starts, as women and maybe men too, sometimes we can feel like our marriage becomes a little dull and it's just not as fulfilling as it once was when we first got married. So it leaves us just feeling, empty, and a lot of times it leaves us feeling bored. So we're thinking, okay, well, we've been married X number of years, we have X number of kids, and I'm getting a little bored. The passion's gone. Things are not as fulfilling as they used to be. We kind of argue more. We work long hours. We don't really have time to communicate. We don't see each other much. And now I'm just in this place where our marriage, I feel, is stagnant. And I felt that way before my affair, and I can't speak for my husband. He may have been feeling that way also, because I believe that men go through that as well, just from working with men who have been unfaithful. They have some, some issues that they go through, and a lot of times it's very similar to what we experience. So today I wanted to talk to you about one of those. So today I'll talk to you about prioritize, and on Monday I thought I would talk to you about comparison, because we don't just compare when we have an affair, because a lot of times, after the affair ends, we tend to as an unfaithful spouse, we tend to compare the husband to the affair partner. But even if you didn't have an affair, comparison can still rob you of a fulfilling marriage. But today I want to talk to you about prioritizing. You know, Prioritizing our marriage is huge in the success of it and the rebuilding of it after infidelity. Many times when we get married, we start off with like in that giddy phase. Oh my God, you're so dreamy. I just love you so much. We spend all our time together. We think about them 24/7. We make them, and the relationship a huge deal. And it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to go hang out with my girlfriend today because I want to go, with my boyfriend. And that's normal. That's what we do. But what happens after you get married? It's like it just goes away. But it really doesn't. What happens is, it might seem like it goes away. But what happens is we're the ones who are not continuing to nourish the relationship, because a marriage is alive. It's a live thing. And it takes effort, it takes nourishment, it takes you, putting in that effort to prioritize and say, okay, I'm going to put my marriage first today. I'm not going to, I'm going to cut work off at 5 o'clock, or, I'm going to put the kids to bed early, and we're just going to sit down and spend some time. So I wanted to talk to you and give you like a couple of little tips on how you can prioritize your marriage. First, let me just back up a little bit. First, I want to make you aware. A lot of times we say that, well, I'm not in love with my husband anymore, but I love him. And we think because we don't feel that in love feeling that we don't love them anymore and it's time to move on. And that's not the case. That's not the path of love, is what I like to call it, because, you start out in romantic love when everything's high and dopamine is at its peak, and you have butterflies, sweaty palms, obsessive thoughts, the fantasies, they're just, you're like, oh my gosh, you just take my breath away. And that's how we start off, and that's how God made it, and it's supposed to be that way so we can move on. But over time, as those chemicals come down and we get into more of an oxytocin based relationship where we're content, we know each other, we're comfortable, we're just like, everything's good, that's my bae, we get into that stage, and that stage is kind of, that's where, if we're not aware of what's going on, we can slip up and get really comfortable, and then boredom and unfulfillment can slip in, especially after we start having kids. Because once we start having kids, then they become the center, especially when they're a newborn, which, is completely normal, and very necessary. They become the center. They require so much care, and we become mom and dad, and husband and wife kind of takes the back seat. And that's not the safest place for your marriage, is to step out of the role as husband and wife completely and just maintain mom and dad, because, it started with husband and wife. It started with you guys, the whole family, everything. So we need to keep it husband and wife to keep it going. So that's a couple of things to be aware of, that, hey, one, after I have kids, I still need to find time to prioritize my marriage. I still need to be wife. Husband needs to be in the husband role, where, hey, we make time for each other. We make time for sex. We just make time for each other, and then we have to understand that it is completely normal for the path of love to start to fade over time. Well, not really fade, but come down from that extremely high, passionate stage to a more level stage. But the good news with that is, and I'll talk about that in another video, but the good news about that is there are ways that we can increase dopamine, we can increase our excitement, and we can keep that passion going later on in life after we've been married for 20, 30, 40, whatever years. So we've been married for 20 years. And I can tell you that I enjoy my husband more now than I ever have before. When we first started dating, I was on cloud nine. He was just like everything to me. And the first year of our marriage, I woke up and I thought, oh my God, I can't believe we're married. I can't believe I'm married to you. You're like everything to me. And, so I had that exciting feeling. But now I feel more love for him now. I feel more excitement for him now, even though, we're busy, we have jobs, we have kids, we have all of that. I still feel more connected to him than I ever did before. So it's definitely possible to keep that excitement going, and the passion, even though you've been married for many, many years, and especially after infidelity. After infidelity, passion and marriage and sex and all of that tends to come to a halt sometimes, or it is more forced than I don't want to say forced. Okay, it's not forced, but it's more of, okay, I'm just gonna comply. I'm just gonna do what I need to do, and to get through it, it's fine. It's just dull. But that's another video too. Okay, so anyways, let me give you some tips quickly about how you can prioritize your marriage. Okay, so one, please schedule in a date night, even if it's once a month, once every couple of weeks. That's what we do. We go twice a month. We have a date. Well, we actually spend the whole day in town together. We have breakfast, lunch, supper, and we do shopping. We do whatever we, want to do, but we're together for the whole day. And it's really good because we communicate. Sometimes we talk about the kids, sometimes we don't. We just really connect, and we're just having fun and cutting up. So I definitely recommend that. And, I understand, and I am aware that sometimes people can't spend money on date day, or they can't find time to budget that in. But it is so much worth it to do whatever is possible for your family to do, to schedule some time for you and your husband, because you and your husband are what keeps the marriage together. So that has to become a priority, because without the love, without the connection and the commitment you guys have, the family wouldn't exist. And that's one thing that I tell my clients is, to prevent infidelity down the road is, let's make sure you are prioritizing. And I don't know what that looks like for your family, but whatever it looks like for your family, make sure you carve out some time for you and your spouse. Now, when my husband and I was in recovery, I had got pregnant and we had another baby. and it was really hard to find that time in the beginning. So what he would do is he would come in the bathroom when I was taking a bath, and we'd spend about 15 minutes a day together, just talking, catching up. We wouldn't always talk about the kids, but we would just, hey, what's going on in your life? How are you feeling? You got any concerns? You said, what's up with you? Basically that's what we would do. And that worked really well. It helped keep us connected. And, that leads me to my second point is keep daily connection going, not just a date night, but daily connection, because, for us, we're only going twice a month. So we need daily connection. I need to talk to you daily. Like, I need to talk to you about what's going on. He needs to talk to me, or I just need to sit and you need to, like, let's watch TV together or something. And even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes a day that you guys spend that time together, just talking, laughing, or even if it's fixing a meal, if you have to get up early in the morning, have coffee before the kids get up, whatever that is, find it. Like, make the time to do it, and you will benefit from it, especially if you're in recovery from infidelity. This step of this daily connection is extremely important. Like, I would say it's not even an option, it's a must, because the marriage infidelity has shown that there was problems in the marriage, that something needs to be fixed. So recovery with in your marriage after infidelity doesn't mean, hey, we're just going to talk about the affair. It means you're going to talk about the affair 30% of the time, and the rest of the time you're going to talk about, we need to evaluate our marriage. Like, what the heck happened? Because a lot of times we get caught up in blame and stuff, but we don't want to do that. We really want to just connect with each other. Okay, so let me see. I think I covered it. Oh, one more thing. I have my notes right here because I know I can get off on a tangent and then I will forget everything I wanted to say. But one more thing I wanted to say. Okay, so we have date night. We have that down. That's a priority. But I also want to make a suggestion and say, how about once a year you guys take a trip together? And it doesn't have to be, out of the state or anything. What we do is, sometimes we do this twice a year. It just depends on what's going on, our schedules and stuff. But we will just go into town. Like, so our town, we live in the sticks, but our town is about 45 minutes away from us. So we'll just go into town. We'll rent a hotel. We love it there anyways. We spend a lot of time there. That's just where the center of the universe for us is, actually. So we'll just get a hotel for one night. We'll get a hotel one night for one night most of the time. Sometimes we'll get it for two, for like maybe our anniversary or for our one of ours birthday, and we'll stay a couple of nights there just to rest and recharge. That is an awesome way to connect, to have 2 whole days with your spouse, without interruptions, without kids, just to focus on each other. It's kind of like you were back when you were dating, when it was just the two of you, And I understand that when you are going through recovery, it is hard to recapture those exciting moments. But I want you to look at my testimony, like what I'm telling you about how we do it and how excited I am, as a hope for you that you can reach that place, that one day you can get to that where you say, oh my God, pack your bags, we're going to stay at a hotel for 2 nights because I really miss you. So that is definitely possible, and that is the whole point of recovery, is not to just get you healed from the hurt of the affair, but to get your marriage rebuilt and restored to a better place so you can actually enjoy each other. So that is my tips. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. I love communicating with you guys and interacting and giving you tips and, just to help you along the way.